The following program contains sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on an all-new Dr. Phil, he's the father of her baby.
You did choke her while she was pregnant.
You can call it that, yes.
He wasn't like that at the beginning.
We're not at the beginning.
But will she leave him?
Every time I try to walk away from Jason, he threatens to do whatever he's got to do to get my kids taken away from me.
Have you threatened to blow her mother's house up?
Yes.
Have you threatened to kill her mother?
Yes.
He's got kids of his own.
I neglected my children. I never did anything sexually with them.
With shocking accusations.
And the child talked about being touched.
I need to know the truth so that I can decide whether I want him in our life.
Is he innocent?
You did take a polygraph.
Her trust in him
I love Jason.
is put to the test.
And the results are... Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you down.
I'm trying to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. How you doing? How are you? Yesterday, we met Christina, who was desperate to learn the truth about her boyfriend, Jason. She said his parental rights to their newborn were taken away because of CPS findings that he sexually abused and neglected his children from a previous marriage. Now, Jason says the findings are completely false, but Christina's mother, Mary, thinks Jason is 100% guilty. Take a look at what happened yesterday as we began to unravel this story.
When I met Jason, it was love at first sight. He was previously married. Jason told me that he had lost the rights to his 4 children because of his ex-wife being neglectful. I got pregnant in May of 2015. 2 hours after my son was born, CPS came to the hospital. CPS said, Jason has been accused of sexually molesting his daughter and his son. The CPS worker told me that Jason was aware that if he had had any other children, that they would automatically be taken away from him. I was devastated. Jason hasn't seen his son now for 2.5 months. To this day, he keeps telling me that he is completely innocent. I'm still in love with him even today.
Jason is a very controlling, angry person.
I don't feel you are safe with him.
I believe 100% that Jason did sexually abuse his children. If he molested these kids, I don't care if he rots in hell.
When the government says we're going to take biological children away from their biological parents, there has to be some pretty major thing has happened.
Yes.
He gave you the papers from CPS.
I never read those papers.
You knew Jason how long before the two of you moved in together?
2 weeks.
I made a short list of some red flags. He's been found guilty of child neglect and sexual molestation. He kept a job that interfered with his parenting. He lost parental rights to 4 children. You knew that. He left 4 children alone with an alleged addict. He was willing to get you pregnant with no stable home. Did this man threaten to blow your house up and kill you?
More than once.
Those are some red flags.
He is a dangerous man, and I fear for my daughter's life.
Christina knew that there was sexual allegations against me. I don't know if she's lying or she doesn't remember, but I did show her the paperwork from CPS. I absolutely did not molest my children. Even though my children were taken away by CPS, I've never been charged criminally for sexual abuse. It tells me that I'm innocent.
Jason, you admit the neglect.
Yes.
But the sexual molestation, you say absolutely did not happen.
No, it did not.
You spent 136 days in jail for writing a bad check.
Yes, sir.
But you said somebody else wrote it on your account.
Right.
So you did 136 days for a crime you didn't commit, and you had your rights to your children terminated for molestation you didn't do. Did you attack her in front of a mirror and choke her to unconsciousness while she watched?
No. No. There was
Did
no
Christine?
unconsciousness.
Did he,
I
Christina?
wasn't unconscious, but he did choke me while I was pregnant and tell me to look at my face in the mirror, and it was purple. Right.
Did you do that?
Yes.
Okay. So you did that, you just didn't choke her till she was unconscious?
I did not choke her till she was unconscious, and I did not have my hands wrapped around her to leave a mark or anything. I was trying to force her over to the mirror to see what she was doing.
You tried to pull over the mirror to what?
To show her what was going on.
Why?
Between me and her.
Why would you want somebody to see that, Jason?
Okay. Hold on. Hold on. When did you do that? It was while she was pregnant?
Yes.
So you choked the mother of your child while she was pregnant. Tell me what went through your mind at the time that made that seem like a good idea.
It wasn't a good idea.
But I mean, at the time, it must have seemed like a good idea. You wouldn't have done it.
At the time, I was up against the wall and didn't know what to do, how to show her that I did not want to lose her. I wanted her to look in the mirror and see my face.
What?
Now, seriously, I'm going to ask you to leave.
Okay, I'm sorry.
If you're going to be here, you're going to have to respect what I'm asking you to do, or I'm going to ask you to leave.
Okay.
I understand it's hard, but I'm trying to get somewhere here. So you were trying to show her how much
I cared.
So you choked her and drug her over to a mirror to look and see what was going on.
I honestly didn't.
You understand how insane that sounds?
Yeah, it sounds insane, but I honestly didn't choke her. I moved her.
I mean, seriously, do you understand how absolutely insane that sounds?
Yes.
You did choke her while she was pregnant.
You can call it that, yes. I don't know what to call it. I didn't intentionally cause physical harm, but yes.
Okay. Have you threatened that if she leaves you, you're going to make certain that her children are taken away from her?
Yes.
Have you threatened to kill her?
I probably have, yes.
Okay. Have you threatened to blow her mother's house up?
Yes.
Have you threatened to kill her mother?
Yes.
Have you harassed her mother on the phone, calling her everything from bitch on up, to the point that you've been put in jail for harassment?
Yes.
Who did you turn down?
That's not the person I fell in love with. I mean, people obviously...
Apparently it is.
He wasn't like that at the beginning. I mean...
We're not at the beginning. No, I'm serious. Come on.
I met my best friend. I met my soulmate, and I knew that she was a great mother. I found the person that I wanted to be with, that I should have married, and that I would never had any accusations of sexual molestation or conduct around anybody being with her. And I honestly believed I was railroaded, and that's why I'm here to clear my name and tell you I took a polygraph test for that. But this woman that I have hurt in the past has come out of anger knowing that I've been telling the truth, and I wanted her to not give up on me. I want her to be the person that is there by my side just like I want to be by her, because nobody else is.
But you don't drag somebody over to a mirror crying to show them how much you love them.
No.
You don't threaten somebody you love to destroy their family and take their children away.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay, let's take a break here. Jason says that he was up front about his CPS case with Christina from the start. He says, I did not try to hide this. When I first met her, I gave her the documents. He says he gave her the documents. He said, here it is. I don't want to hide this from you. It says what it says. I just didn't do what it says. But she says he never told her about the sexual abuse. He says, I gave her the documents, as horrific as they were. I wanted her to know all the bad things that were being said. We're going to talk about how this relationship began when we come back. Have you allowed him to see the baby?
No, he hasn't seen him since the hospital.
Are you interested in pursuing a relationship with him?
Yes, I mean, I love Jason.
And later, Jason requested to do a polygraph. This was not our idea, it was yours. You wanted to do this. And the results are...
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. These battling exes are back.
You said you couldn't take the polygraph last time.
Can I say something about that?
No, Joe, no, you may not. Just stop.
You didn't take the drug test here last time because you said you couldn't urinate, and you said you didn't urinate till 5:30 the next morning.
The next morning, yep.
You're a medical miracle. Did you say he passed the test because he cheated?
I think I said, did you cheat? It was more like, did you? It wasn't, I did
So the answer is yes.
Your neighbor is here.
I don't care to see her or talk to her. No, that's not fair to me.
If you'll at least hear what she says on
I don't care to
tape.
hear it. She already lied the first time. What's the point?
That's Monday.
I've never physically fought with Christina. I've never put my hands on her. I've threatened her. When I get a bunch of people against me, it's like me against the world, then I get very protective. I hurt people that I don't want to hurt. I have a very bad temper. I definitely say things I regret.
You guys had this baby 2.5 months ago.
Yes.
They come in 2 hours after the birth and required you to sign a protection plan wherein you agreed that you would keep the baby away from him and pending a hearing
7 days.
that was going to come up within 7 days so the court could hear all this out, right?
Right.
And so at that time, you had to leave,
Yes.
right? Which you guys were shocked, right? Because you say you didn't know that you didn't have the right to be around children.
Yes.
And you said you had no idea.
Right.
So you did leave.
I did.
Have you allowed him to see the baby?
No, he hasn't seen him since the hospital.
So you haven't?
No,
allowed
he
him
hasn't
to-
even tried.
Okay. Have you seen each other?
Yes.
And the court doesn't say you can't see each other.
Right.
It just says you can't see the baby,
Right.
even supervised.
Right.
Then you did have a hearing.
Yes.
And I understand at that hearing, they terminated your parental rights for this baby.
Yes, they did.
March 28th.
March 28th. So now, what they're saying is they don't allege that you've done anything wrong with this baby.
Right.
You were only with this baby for a few minutes, but they're saying that the findings were so egregious before that they've now terminated your parental rights with this child, saying that you have no rights to this baby
Yes.
whatsoever. Correct?
Yes.
Okay, so even though this is your biological child, they've terminated that. What do you want to say?
The reason for that is in court on the March 28th, they said that since Jason, for one, didn't admit that he did anything wrong and hasn't done anything like they want him to do counseling, something to fix the problem in the previous situation, since he had done none of that, then they felt the risk was just as great or greater for
Right.
re-abuse.
But you just said you can name every counselor every day, every time. So I assume on March 28th, you provided all of that information and documentation to the court to prove that, in fact, you have done remedial work.
The only thing I provided to the court was to my lawyer was the paperwork that she had sent in.
Well, but you told me when I said the papers said that you had not availed yourself of their resources for a reunification plan. You said, well, then why can I name you every counselor, every date, every time? Then I assume you provided that information to your lawyer to provide to the court to show that you, in fact, had done work.
I wish I had. Every time I go down to the clerk's office to get the paperwork, whether it was for the divorce or it was for a court hearing, the paperwork doesn't exist. We can't get it. You have to call your attorney. The judge, whenever I was getting a divorce from my ex-wife, couldn't even produce it.
Okay, so you have no certificates of completion? Because, listen, I'm trained as a forensic psychologist, and I've conducted those.
Right.
And you get a certificate of completion, whether it's anger management or parental courses or whatever it might be. When you complete those courses, you get a certificate.
Yes, you did. And I got one. And I handed it to my ex-wife.
See, I have always been told that he does have a certificate, that he did go through those classes, and he has passed every drug test, everything that they've ever asked him to do.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a hypothetical question here. Let's assume that he did not molest his daughter and son from the previous relationship. Let's just, I don't know this. He asked to take a polygraph here today. And Jack Tremarco was here, and he did take a polygraph. And I've not opened this envelope, but I'm going to. Let's assume, for argument's sake, that he passed the polygraph. And he did not molest his daughter or son. Are you interested in pursuing a relationship with him?
After the court says it's okay for him to be, if the court says it's okay for him to be around the children, then maybe we can work on it. But I can't be in a relationship with him if he can't be around my kids.
No, I understand. I'm just talking about just the two, children aside for a minute.
Yes, I mean, I love Jason.
What do you think should happen if a parent does cross a line with their children?
They need help.
No, they need to be in jail.
And later,
How could I be so foolish?
I'm shocked that it takes this for you to say what you're now saying.
I can't be that naive.
Have you told her what you're accused of?
Yes.
No, I do know now per CPS, and my mother told me about the papers, and I did read a couple of things. I just having a new baby, I couldn't stomach to read everything.
Because, you know, he says that they maybe bribed his daughter. That somebody bribed her.
And my son.
With what? What did they bribe her with?
I was told it was toys.
I just don't know how
They said she was in Barbie
a
doll.
child could say something so graphic and know things like that.
Well,
if it didn't happen.
But let me explain some things to you here. This would have to be a real big conspiracy. And the child talked about being touched and being forced to touch. The child told a consistent story across a year's time. Now, listen, I've been doing this for a long, long time. And children of that age have a hard time keeping the truth straight.
Let alone a lie.
They sure have a hard time keeping planted stories straight. And this child has told this story very consistently to multiple forensic interviewers across a year's time.
So I've never even read that. And I read all the sick
How
stuff.
could you not read the papers,
I've never
Jason?
seen the paperwork. Show me the paperwork. I'll read it out
It was in your
loud.
stuff at my house.
Yeah.
I got
That
it
I
out of
read.
there.
I'm talking about the other stuff.
That's exactly what
Dr.
it
Phil
says.
just said, I've never heard that.
Well,
It was in the paperwork.
you know what? I've got less invested here than anybody involved, and I've read it all.
Me too. So have
And you have a duty to know, because your reasoning is missing a few links. Because you say, I drug her over. I wanted her to look in the mirror to see. There's something wrong with your logic.
I never physically ever wanted to do what I was shown throughout my childhood and everything like that, and probably hers, where physical violence was the issue. I, intentionally just wanted to put it into, not in a harm's way, but in a good way, in my sense, as you wanted to know what it was going through my mind, to know that that was a good idea. And it was just to make her kind of wake up. I was kind of seeing it, wake up and see the picture. I love you and I want to be with you. Trying to get through this the easiest way I know how, after what I've been through. But
Is there, You say you haven't read any of all of the documents.
I've not read all of them. I've seen a stack of them that tall, and they closed the book on me.
Is there any reason that there would be witness statements in there of somebody saying they had seen you doing any of this?
No. Not if there was. I've never read that.
Was there any reason there would be, you know, maybe a neighbor or something like that that had seen anything inappropriate?
Shouldn't be, Dr. Phil, because it didn't happen. I didn't do it. I neglected my children. I never did anything sexually with them. I barely was there, and I barely changed their rear ends. I mean...
Yeah. And, you know, and I know parents go through their own childhoods, and they go through a lot of pain and a lot of hurt and a lot of torture, and sometimes they pass it on. What do you think should happen if a parent does cross a line with their children?
There's always consequences. And I believe that depending on what they did cross the line on, what the consequence should be. I mean, whether it be criminal.
Well, I mean, if the child had if a parent had a horrific childhood of their own, and you know, maybe they crossed the line sexually or were inappropriate with their children in any way, what do you think's the best? What do you think should happen to them? What's the best course of action with them?
They need help. I mean, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
No, they need to be in jail.
They can be in jail. Something I'm not worried about.
I'm sorry, Dr. Phil.
Well, coming up, Mary says Jason claims he can pass any lie detector test. Well,
I claim that.
we're going to see if that's true, because Jason took a polygraph exam administered by former FBI Special Agent Jack Tremarco. He took it before the show. We're going to find out what those results are after the break.
I'm here to clear my name. I'll do whatever it takes to clear my name. I've got nothing to hide. I'm here to clear my name. I'll do whatever it takes to clear my name, including take a lie detector test. I never touch my children inappropriately in any way. I'll show negative results. I've got nothing to hide.
You know, Mary, at this point, you've been on a roller coaster with Jason, because there are times that you've tried to give him every benefit of the doubt, and then there are times that you two have clashed and you've seen what you believe to be a real unbridled side of him.
Absolutely. Because I know how toxic their relationship is. But about the last 3 months she was pregnant, they stayed at my house, and he was a totally different person. He was respectful. He worked. He took care of Christina. But then as soon as CPS, and when CPS stepped in and said what he did, it shocked me as well. I knew he wasn't a stable person or anybody I wanted my daughter with, but for them to say that, it did shock me. But then when they told him he couldn't be around the baby anymore, and then Christina couldn't talk to him anymore, that's when it started, the phone calls back, the harassment, the threats, all of that.
Why would you want to threaten her with saying you're going to tell lies on her to get her children taken away?
I don't.
But you mean you threatened her with it?
I have in the past.
But you don't really want to do that.
No,
right?
I don't.
That's a crime to do that. Just like it's a crime to harass somebody on the phone. I mean, those are... And I don't want you getting in trouble.
I don't either. The thing that I have to do is clear my name. Everybody thinks I'm this bad person, and I'm not.
I'm gonna do this in phases at this point. I'm gonna excuse you and ask you to go down in the audience, and I'm gonna talk to them. Then I'm gonna excuse you and talk to you. I'm gonna do this 3, 2, 1. So can we put Mary down in the audience, please, so I can speak to the couple here. Jason requested to do a polygraph. He wanted to do this. This was not our idea. It was yours. You wanted to do this because you wanted clarity here. So we contacted Jack Tremarco. He is a former FBI agent who worked for the Bureau for 20 years. He worked as a criminal profiler for 7 years, was the polygraph unit chief for the FBI in Los Angeles, and the inspector general for the Department of Energy's polygraph program. He's done over 3,500 polygraph exams in his career. And when we do a polygraph, we don't do them like TV polygraphs are done. And in order for them to be done properly, there can't be cameras involved. It can't be a television thing. That's why we set you up with Mr. Tremarco, and then we back off. Did you feel comfortable with Mr. Tremarco?
Absolutely.
Because you had a polygraph exam before that did not come out well, and you felt like it was done unprofessionally, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was this a different experience?
Yes, it was. More professional.
So you were asked about one issue 2 ways. The first question was, did you ever touch your daughter for sexual reasons? And your answer was?
No.
And the second question was, since she was born, did you ever touch your daughter for sexual reasons? And your answer was?
No.
And the results are that you were being deceptive on both questions.
What's that mean?
It says that you were lying.
How is that?
I'm sorry?
How is that? I know I never touched them.
Jack, was this a close call?
Jason came in at a -7. He would have needed a -4 or above to fail the test.
I don't understand.
Meaning -5, -6, -7.
So this was not a close call.
No.
You said that's why you want to come on national TV.
I did.
Because they would tell that you were telling the truth and you lied.
I did not lie.
Monday on an all-new Dr. Phil. These battling exes are back.
Can I say something about that?
No, you may not. Stop.
But is she trying to run the show?
Your neighbor is here.
I don't care to talk to her. I don't care to hear it.
That's Monday.
So, Jason, what do you have to say?
I don't know what to say. I just know that I never touched my kids. I just know that for a fact. How can you when you're not around, for one? I don't know why I can't pass a lie detector on a particular question, but those questions make me sick to my stomach, and I don't know if that's what it is. But I don't know. God is my witness, I guess. He'll judge me at the gates. But I feel like a piece of going on TV and learning this myself. Just like I haven't seen the paperwork, just like nobody says that there's a certificate that exists for unification when I know I did it.
So you're trying to say that the test lied?
The test is right. The lie detectors, they come up whenever you move, your blood pressure goes up.
No, you said that's why you want to come on national TV.
I did.
Because they would tell that you were telling the truth and you lied.
I did not lie. I know I didn't touch them.
I cannot have my kids around you,
Okay.
Jason.
That's fine.
What?
I see what this has done.
What, so now we're setting you up?
No.
He can't be around your children anyway.
No.
This doesn't change that.
No, but...
The court has ruled he cannot be around that child. He can't be around your other
can't
children
be around
either.
any of my kids.
That's the court, that's very clear. You have one option. And that option is you need help. Because I'm telling you, your logic, your thinking, whatever is going on is not right. Because the things that I ask you here, are you attacking her, threatening her, saying you're going to blow up houses, kill people? You know, you have a serious problem with impulse control. That doesn't bode well for the other accusations that are being leveled against you, which means if you're ever going to restore your ability to have the kind of access that you're wanting, to have any kind of normalcy in your life, you're going to need to get some professional help and get yourself under control. And I'm willing to help you do that. I'm willing to get you that help.
I'm absolutely willing to take that, sir.
Because, look, I'm the incurable optimist, and I don't believe anybody is an evil person. I don't believe God makes junk, and I believe that everybody is redeemable. And I am willing to try and help you, but what you need to do is take that help. And if what I hear is that you leave here and start stomping around and threatening people and calling people and stuff like that, then I'll do whatever is within my power to constrain that behavior, because you have committed crimes. Yeah. These are terroristic threats you've made. Those things can be prosecuted. I would rather help you than prosecute you. Let me help you. Just calm down and let me get you some help.
Okay.
That's all I ask you to do. So at this point, I'm going to, as I said before, however this came out, is going to ask you to excuse us. Let me talk to her about her children and what she needs to do as a mother. Yeah. And then we'll talk about the resources. I want to get you help, and I want to get you help right now. I'm not talking about next month. These aren't papers you need to read, or I'm going to get you help right now, real help right now. Okay? So I'll excuse you now. Yes. So I'm going to say goodbye to Jason at this point. When we come back, I'm going to talk to Christina alone. I have some very important things to say to her, because she has 3 children that are looking to her for what happens next.
Do you need Dr. Phil's help? Text Phil to 88500 and share your story for a chance to appear on the show. Standard message and data rates may apply.
We have a lot of fun here in the studio audience.
If you're going to be in the Los Angeles area and you would like free tickets, go to drphil.com and click Be in the Audience, or you can call 323-461-PHIL. That's 323-461-7445.
Every time I try to walk away from Jason, he threatens to do whatever he's got to do to get my kids taken away from me. And I just can't risk losing my kids. So he keeps me holding on. I'm afraid of what he's capable of doing. When you go against him, he is this person that you don't want to deal with. My mom had to put him in jail because he told her he was going to come and kill her in her sleep. He has intimidated me, and he's threatened me. He is going to kill me. I can't do this. I'm messing up.
Tell me what you're thinking and feeling right now after what's transpired here and hearing the results of this polygraph.
I'm thinking, how could I be so foolish? I mean, how could I be with somebody for almost 2 years and let them manipulate me into not recognizing the truth? I mean, I did have 2 kids that I did put in danger, not knowing, not choosing to pay attention. I mean, what if something would have happened to them? I would have never forgiven myself. And I can't be that naive.
You want to know what I'm thinking right now?
I do.
I'm shocked that it takes this for you to say what you're now saying, because my staff was they said Jason wants to take a polygraph, and I said there's no point, because no matter what this says, it's not going to change my advice one iota. I didn't need to hear this. I read the court documents. I read that a child across a year period told a very graphic, precise, consistent story to multiple forensic interviewers about being molested. I didn't need a polygraph.
I should have read the paper.
Perhaps you needed the polygraph, and if you did, that's fine. Is it possible that the polygraph, is he in the 7%? Nothing is for sure. There's always a margin of error. Could he fall in that margin of error? Of course he could. It does not matter. There is enough objective evidence to tell you that the risk-reward ratio for putting yourself and your children in his crosshairs is unacceptable. Listen, you're going to need help and support. I'm going to make sure that you have it. I'm going to get you professional help and support for you and your children, and you guys need to work together here. So, Mary, help out here. As you know, Robin's Foundation, When Georgia Smiled, is dedicated to helping women and children suffering from abuse. She has an app called the Aspire app, which I can't tell you how proud I am of Robin, of course, and this breakthrough in technology that could absolutely save your life the moment that abuse is occurring. Now, this app is disguised as an ordinary app on your phone. We have it blurred here because if the abuser's watching, we don't want them to know what it looks like. And what it does is you can pre-record a message or a text that you can send to a trusted contact or even 911. And the moment that you're in need, you just tap this 3 times, bink, 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 and it shoots that out to whoever you've pre-selected, and they hear what you recorded ahead of time. And what else does it do, Robin? It sends that out, and what else does it do?
It also has a GPS tracking device, so if your abuser takes you away from the known location, and it also starts recording what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of it.
And to get this app, which is free, you can visit iTunes or the Android App Store to download the free Aspire app for your smartphone. So please take a look at that.
Coming up, Dr. Phil goes behind the scenes of WWE Raw.
Are you prepared to perhaps get involved in anything tonight?
Oh, hell yes. Want to get something off your chest? Sign up for the drphil.com community and weigh in on your favorite episodes and share your personal stories with other community members. Plus, get started on your own blog to share your thoughts on the topics that interest you most. I'll be reading those message boards. Log on to drphil.com today. I was recently caught in the middle of an argument between a controlling father and an entitled daughter at one of the most unlikely places ever. I definitely felt like a fish out of water and stood out like a sore thumb in these surroundings where angry people wearing bright-colored Speedos, shiny tights, and war paint while administering smackdowns were the norm. I'm talking about hanging out at WWE Raw, a popular professional wrestling and sports entertainment show that currently airs live on Monday nights on the USA Network. Here's a peek at some of the insanity that happened backstage. This is what it looks like backstage at WWE. Talk about a huge production. They actually let me bring my camera crew here, but no way I'm putting on a Speedo and a cape. I don't need one. I'll talk them to death. There's a rumor going around that 100 Handed's got front row seats. I didn't even get any tickets. What's the deal?
So I'm here backstage Monday Night Raw with Dr. Phil. This is a big day. This is Monday Night Raw. Have you ever been involved in anything WWE before?
No, I haven't, but I'm a fan, so I'm excited to be here.
Good.
I can't believe I'm backstage. This is cool.
Are you prepared to perhaps get involved in anything tonight?
Oh, hell yes. I'm here to play.
So you're ready to throw down. Did you bring any gear or trunks or anything to change into?
You don't want to see me in a Speedo.
Are you going to wear this? This is badass.
Yeah, I couldn't get in that with a shoehorn.
Dr. Phil.
Hey, what's up,
How
man?
are you doing, sir?
I'm all right.
I see you saw my jacket already.
I did. I saw this.
Did you steal that out of my dressing room?
No,
Is that what you're doing?
I see this thing.
Absolutely. It's Intercontinental title.
Wow.
I won it last week. Defeated Zack Ryder.
Yeah, I
And
saw
then he had a
that.
rematch. Beat him again.
Yeah.
2 times in 1 week. I'm not bragging about it or anything. I don't want you to
times in a week.
psychoanalyze me or anything.
Well, 2 times in a week you can brag. It's not bragging if you can back it up.
Thank you.
Oh, I see Tyler Breeze coming down the hall. Hey, what's up, man?
Hello, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, well, I'm all right. So you're pretty proud of the way you turned out, I think, huh?
If what you mean is Tyler Breeze is gorgeous, then yes.
Well, zoom in and get a real close-up of yourself there. Uh-oh, you got me in a picture now. That could ruin everything. If you show a girl a picture with me in it, they could start throwing rocks at you, buddy. You could be ruined.
Touche, Phil. Touche.
Yeah, Dr. Phil to you. It's time for me to give Charlotte a smackdown for relying too much on her father, Ric Flair, to secure her win. You don't need him. Quit cheating every time you get in the ring and letting this guy corrupt you, stifle you, and drag you down. What? What? Woo! Woo! I hear WWE fans are the best in the world, the most passionate, the most rabid, the most committed, the scariest. I'm actually doing some commentating tonight. Going to be calling some matches in the women's division. I know all the moves. Well, maybe not all of them.
Our guest tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the host of tonight's Monday Night Raw, Dr.
Natalya realizes this could be her moment to put Charlotte away.
I want to see if she took the advice I gave her earlier and does this straight up instead of playing it cheap.
Charlotte's in trouble. Charlotte's going to tap. Charlotte just tapped. Come on. The Nature Boy pulled the official out of the ring while Charlotte was tapping. Charlotte's still the champion.
It's very disappointing. I mean, I was hoping that she wouldn't resort to those kind of cheap, underhanded tricks, but she just didn't do it. I have had an absolute ball here today. I have met some really fun people and some great athletes, and it was all about good fun and having a good time. So that wraps it up for Monday Night Raw. We'll see you next time. Thanks.